President Trump was asked about a potential national mask mandate on his ABC town hall with George Stephanopoulos. And here's how he handled it. I have a lot to say about this one.
The wearing of masks has proven to lessen the spread of COVID. Why don't you support a mandate for national mask wearing? And why don't you wear a mask more often?
Well, I do wear them when I have to and when I'm in hospitals and other locations. But I will say this. They said at the Democrat convention they're going to do a national mandate. They never did it because they've checked out and they didn't do it. And a good question is you ask, like Joe Biden, they said we're going to do a national mandate on masks.
He's called on all governors to have them. It is a state responsibility.
No, but he didn't do it. I mean, he never did it. Now, there is, by the way, a lot of people don't want to wear masks. There are a lot of people think the masks are not good. And there are a lot of people that, as an example,
Who are those people?
Well, I'll tell you who those people are. Waiters, they come over and they serve you and they have a mask. And I saw it the other day where they were serving me. And they're playing with a mask. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying what happens. They're playing with a mask, so the mask is over, and they're touching it, and then they're touching the plate. That can't be good. There are a lot of people. If you look at Dr. Fauci's original statement, you look at a lot of people, CDC, you look at a lot of people's original statement, they said very strongly, George, don't wear masks. Then all of a sudden they went to wear masks. The concept of a mask is good, but it also does, you're constantly touching it, you're touching your face, you're touching plates. There are people that don't think masks are good.
We've gotten used to Trump saying wild things and then that leading to endless media coverage where they're flipping out and their hair's on fire. We've gotten so used to that sometimes we overlook stuff like this. And I would argue this is probably more important than a lot of what the media covers about what Trump says. Because that answer is unacceptable for the President of the United States of America. He's obfuscating about the utility of masks in the middle of a pandemic where nearly 200,000 Americans have died. Hey, some people like them, some people like them, sometimes I wear them, so other people don't like them. You know, a lot of people say a lot of different things on masks. I mean, that's objectively a stupid answer. That's what it is. That's a dumb thing to say. It's not up in the air as to whether or not masks help. Of course they help. And if we had a universal mask mandate from the beginning of the pandemic, they've done studies on this. Way fewer people would have died. Way fewer. Again, look at the example of Japan, where they did some limited economic shutdowns early on, but they mostly stayed open with their economy. And basically the thing they had that made it so only 1,000 people died from COVID early on was universal masks. Of course, if you wear masks, you're going to limit the spread of a virus because the way it spreads primarily is when people cough and you got the little droplets that get out there in the air and people, ingest them, get them in their own body, and then we're off to the races. So this is not, it's not an open question. And he's acting like it is, which just means he's not dedicated to science. He's just not. And obviously he does the exact same thing on climate change, where, he's tweeted years ago that it's a Chinese hoax to destroy U.S. manufacturing or something to that effect. You do not know, on science-related topics, you do not know better than scientists. You have to listen to the experts. You have to listen to the experts when it comes to stuff like public health. Now, he does bring up, early on, CDC and Fauci, they were saying, don't wear masks, masks are not good. Yes, and see, that's the problem, is that they undermine trust in experts because they were wrong when they said that, and they were lying when they said that. Why did they say that? Well, they admit it now. We were afraid of a mask shortage for frontline workers. So we wanted the public to not go buy all the masks because we need them for the frontline workers. So instead of telling people, hey, this is why we need the masks, they could have been honest and said that. They didn't. They lied and said, masks don't work. And so now you got these things that people will hold on to and act like, see, who really knows? the experts said previously this, and now they're saying this. And I got some doctors who say wear masks, and I got other crank doctors, just like the people who are funded by ExxonMobil who say climate change isn't real. Now I got, people who are arguing that masks aren't real. The same cranks. You could find somebody to make any argument. There's always going to be a handful. But yes, this split is probably 97% to 3% in the medical community and among scientists that masks work. Now, Trump is the kind of person to find somebody in that 3% and amplify their voice. And I don't know how else to say this, guys, but so many people died because Trump, even if he didn't do a national mask mandate, but he was aggressive in embracing them early on and kept doing it, I think that would have saved lives. I really wish at the beginning of this pandemic that Trump slapped some Trump logos on masks and started selling them to everybody and started saying, look, this is what you have to do. If you love America, if you're patriotic, you will wear a mask. This is how we stop this virus. This is how we fight back. We're waging a war on the virus, and rule number one is we're going to wear our masks, folks. And if he wore it everywhere he went, I really think so many lives could have been saved if he did that. But he didn't do that. And he doesn't believe in science, and so he's not sure what he believes on masks, and so he's obfuscating, and in the middle of a pandemic, he's out there raising doubt about the efficacy of masks. I really do think this is one of those issues where it's hurting him electorally. Electorally, however you say it. I really think this is hurting him, because COVID is the number one issue in every poll that the American people care about, and he's gotten terrible grades on COVID. People are like, he's not handling it well, and he's not. If he was handling it well, you wouldn't have nearly 200,000 dead Americans. You just wouldn't. So when people hear this, I do think most Americans, basically all Democrats, and then the majority of independents and the majority of like apolitical people, they hear him say stuff like this, and they know, like, oh, he's just an idiot, and he doesn't believe in science, and what he's saying is ridiculous. Yes, there are that. His 35% base is going to defend him no matter what. But I think the overwhelming majority of Americans are like, really? In the middle of a pandemic, you're going to raise doubts about the efficacy of masks? I really do think most people understand that the science is settled on this and that what he's saying is ridiculous. Now, he brought up, Biden wants to do a national mask mandate, but he hasn't done it. He's not president. What do you mean? What does that even mean? What does that mean? He wants to do a national mask mandate, but he hasn't done it. He's not in a position to do it. He's not president. But beyond that, Biden hasn't even said that. Biden said he would tell each state that you guys should do universal masks. I don't know if he doesn't think that the federal government has the authority, or if he just has that conservative mindset of like, relegate this stuff to the states. But whatever it is, he said, I would do a national mask mandate only insofar as I would tell the states, the governors need to demand it. So, that's probably not enough either, but it's definitely a step better than Trump. And then look at the example he gave when he's trying to talk about how, there are problems with masks. He talks about like a waiter serving people and touching the mask, and then like, I don't care what kind of scenario you concoct in your head that's totally made up, hypothetical, and anecdotal. At the end of the day, the science does not back what you're saying, that it's somehow equally dangerous to wear a mask. I mean, this is what Louis Gohmert said. He thought that he got COVID because when he did wear his mask, he didn't wear a mask a lot, but when he did wear a mask, he said, I would take it off and maybe breathe in. As I'm taking it off, I would maybe breathe in whatever's on the mask. And so wearing the mask is what gave me COVID. I always find it amazing when people think that when they do these highfalutin rationalizations for these dumb positions, that makes them smart. I don't care if you give me a 4.5-minute explanation and rationalize it 1,000 ways as to why you think masks don't work. They do work. And so you're using a lot of energy and brain power to do mental gymnastics and jujitsu to get yourself to believe that, it's better to not wear a mask. But that doesn't make you intelligent. That makes you a jackass. And you're also wasting your time coming up with these silly explanations, which are not accurate. So, but anyway, this is the President of the United States, and I really do feel like stuff like this hurts him in the polls. Because this isn't the answer of a serious person. It really isn't. Like, any reasonable person would be like, yeah, I looked at the evidence. The evidence is clear. Masks help. Why are we even debating this? You know? But he didn't do a mask mandate early on. He's waffled on the efficacy of them. And so these questions are all fair game. And the more he talks about COVID, I do think the more it helps Biden. Because this stuff, I think, is unacceptable to most Americans.